It's March, and it's time to look at 5 movies that are turning 40 this month.
Starting transmission.
The first up, turning 40 this month, we have
Mask.
and this isn't the Jim Carrey Mask. No, this is the Mask movie that stars Eric Stoltz and Cher. Yeah, the movie is based on the life of Rocky Dennis. This is about a boy who had an extremely rare case of a genetic disorder that was called, named like Leonidas, because of what it actually did to the body. And you know what? This was a great movie. It's very uplifting. It is a very powerful movie too. And if you've never seen this movie, you're gonna want to check this movie out. Next up, a movie that came out 40 years ago is
The Care Bears movie. Bring someone you care about.
Yep, the Care Bear stare and everything like that. Oh, made it to the big screen back in 1985. And you know what? This movie was pretty much a staple of my childhood. I remember watching this on VHS when I was little. I think my mom had it on VHS or something, or rented it a lot. 'Cause I distinctly remember watching this a lot when I was little. You know what? They don't make movies like they did in the 80s, because these movies, even though they have their characteristics or overly charmful and, like very childish, they have some dark undertones. Like the villain of this movie is creepy, and that's just saying much. Next up, we have a movie that I think many people forgot about, and that is
Baby, the secret of the lost legend.
this is a movie about 2 paleontologists that find the very last dinosaur. And it's a baby. So it makes you wonder, where are the adults? And it's like a little action adventure movie produced by Disney, and it's about them trying to get this dinosaur back to wherever he was from, to his family. We see other dinosaurs out there too. It's a fun little movie. It's funny because I remember watching this on TV years later, and I couldn't remember what it was called. And right now I was looking up the list of movies for turning 40. I'm like, this is the movie. I swear, I think a lot of people out there too, you have forgotten about this movie. And heck, if you have the opportunity to watch it, because this is actually a movie from the 80s that, you know what, I think is mainly forgotten by most. All right, now let's talk about our horror movies now that came out in 85. So, first up, we have
Ghoulies. They'll get you in the end.
Now, this is probably not my favorite of the Ghoulies series. I'm actually very partial to Ghoulies 2. That's what I grew up watching the most. And so Ghoulies 1, I've seen a couple of times since then. And this is one of the little fun movies where it's about a sorcerer who basically is conjuring up the demons and these ghoulies and dwarves apparently too. And, and then basically has him kill his family to resurrect his father. Probably really convoluting this plot, but the movie is pretty convoluted in itself. But fun fact about this movie, it stars Marissa Haggerty, and you know her as Officer Benson from Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Yep, this is her starring role. And that's pretty cool to know. That's a nice, cool fun fact to know. This is from Empire Records, who was founded by Charles Band, who would eventually go on to do Full Moon Pictures later on in life and create the series Puppet Masters and Subspecies and a bunch of other cool stuff from the 80s and 90s. And last but not least is
Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
Now here's the one that's probably the most divisive. It's the most divisive among fans, in that it's one of those films that you either love it or you hate it. And that's because of the biggest twist in this movie. So those spoilers here. And this movie, Jason isn't Jason Voorhees. It's actually some other random guy who's pretending to be Jason Voorhees. And we also get an older version of Tommy Jarvis in this movie, where it kind of alludes, is he going crazy? Is he becoming Jason? And while we have this other guy dressing up like Jason and murdering people. Yeah, so you have these 2 different Jasons. And then what's cool about this movie, when you're looking at them, there's a distinction between the 2 Jasons. So whenever we are looking at possibly the real Jason, there's a red triangle on his mask. But if it's the fake Jason, so the guy Roy, you'll see 2 blue triangles on the cheeks. That's how you distinguish between which is the real Jason, which is the fake Jason. That is how you know the Jason who's murdering everybody is not the real one in this franchise. And unfortunately, this pretty much ends on a good cliffhanger with what you believe would be Tommy Jarvis becoming Jason, and kind of went out the window. And by the next movie, Jason Voorhees is back to life again. and we get a brand new Tommy Jarvis, and pretty much the whole plot of this movie is swept under the rug. Oh well. It was a fun movie. I enjoy it. It's a lot goofier than the other ones. Alright guys, here are all the movies that were turning 40 this month. Have you seen them before? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time guys, this is JD with the Figgy Pop Clear Channel.
That concludes a Figgy Pop transmission.